I just found out my fiancé has been secretly fluent in Korean for our entire 3-year relationship, and I don't know if I should feel completely betrayed or impressed. I, 24F, have been with Jimmy, 25M, for 3 years now. We first met in college and we pretty much instantly hit it off. I'm fully Korean while he's half Korean, even though he doesn't look like it at all. I was the slightest disappointed when I found out that he didn't speak Korean. Pretty much everyone in my family speak it, so more than anything I thought it would be an issue, but it wasn't. He told me that he didn't know it but he was studying it, which I thought was a nice gesture. He met my parents for the first time and they speak English but prefer not to speak it as much. My parents complained to me pretty much the entire night, and even badmouthed him quite a bit because of his actions and not understanding. I didn't know at the time, but I really defended him, and although most dinners at my parents' house were them being fake nice to him, I tried my best to stick up for him. The first time my parents met his dad and his sister, they spoke very poorly of them. It was downright insulting. His dad had some pretty rude and weird behavior that was frowned upon. I would always talk with my parents on the phone while we lived on campus, often on speakerphone, and Jimmy would just kind of play dumb. Even with my friends, many of them were very rude to him after I told them he didn't understand it. He proposed to me at our favorite park 3 months ago in Korean and I was so blown away by it. I thought it was the sweetest thing in the world. I cried for joy and happily accepted. I was so proud of him. Fast forward to last week, one of Jimmy's old-time friends had returned from his assignment overseas and met us for dinner. He really nice and respectable guy. And he's talking and just full-blown starts speaking in Korean to Jimmy and I'm taken back. Oh, he doesn't know much, he's still learning. The guy scratches his head and goes, "Jimmy is the guy who helped teach me Korean, what are you talking about?" And at first I didn't know what to think. I was relieved and excited that Jimmy actually knew it, but the more I thought about it the more angry I became. When I confronted him about why he didn't tell me sooner, he said that when his mother passed on his 18th birthday he stopped speaking altogether and just started telling people he didn't understand it. He said that it reminds him of her. Which is understandable, but I don't know if I can accept something like that. When I told my parents, my dad was overjoyed while my mother had a panicked look on herself as she recalled all the nasty things they said about him and his family in front of them. My dad seemed to brush it off and fully understood Jimmy's reasoning for not speaking it anymore, but I don't know if I can be so forgiving. I feel like he's been secretly spying on me for the past 3 years. He lied to me about it. Even my friends, he treated everyone so kindly even though they all at some point talked bad about him. I don't know if he's noble and romantic or if he's just been using it to his advantage. Our relationship is otherwise perfect and it seems like such a silly minor detail to get upset over, but I don't know. Any outside perspective or input? Am I wrong for not letting this go so lightly? I think he should have told me way sooner. Relevant comments. Commenter number 1, your parents and friends were acting rudely. They should apologize to him and hope he's happy to forgive. As for you, you're in a relationship for 3 years yet never took an interest in how his Korean studies were going or tried to have a conversation with him to practice what he's learned? OP, not really. I would say little phrases here and there and he would respond according for the most part. I never actually sat down with him because everyone says they'll live a language someday. I didn't think he would actually stick with it. He always studied on his own time. Commenter number 2, I can understand being upset about being lied to, but I think what you're feeling is probably a lot of embarrassment about how your parents and friends acted. Sometimes people who are biracial are used to not being accepted by one or both sides of their cultures. No matter what he does, to some people Jimmy will never be Korean enough, even though that's part of who he is. You need to understand this, because if you have kids and they look a little like him, they might be treated like Jimmy one day too. Don't you wonder how your boyfriend was able to sit through all that abuse and not say anything? And why he would still be with you after all that? If anything, he has a right to be mad and judge you for having these kind of people in your life. But maybe he is a calm enough person to know that when people say bad things about you, it shows you more about their character than yours. Or maybe, sadly, he has seen this kind of negative and judgmental behavior before from other relatives. I suspect that this might be the case. He is used to people judging him because they've judged all his life and he has learned to just brush it off. Like I said, I do understand feeling upset that he was completely honest with you. You want to be in a relationship with someone who is able to trust you. And 3 years is a long time. However, I can understand where he's coming from too. Talk it over. See if you can use this to come to a deeper understanding of each other. Maybe you can use this to become a stronger person who can stand up to your relatives and friends more. Or be a better example at least. And maybe you can have a better understanding of his heart and character. This may put a distance between you, but you can also choose to let it draw you closer. OP, I'll admit a lot of my feeling is embarrassment. After that dinner when we got back to our apartment I looked him in the eyes and cried like a little baby. I didn't really know what to say or do and the only thing in my mind was how crappy my friends and family were to him and how he would face them over and over again willingly. You make good points and I do think I'm being selfish trying to make this about me when it should be able him or us. I want to see it in a positive way and use it to bring us closer. I guess I'm just like my parents when I say I have this small doubt in the back of my mind preventing me from doing so wholeheartedly. Update, 1 week later. First I want to say that I admit I was totally wrong for trying to make this about me, and I realize my parents and friends as well as myself were all horrible people, which I agree with. I spoke with Jimmy the same day I posted the thread, I actually invited him over to my parents' place for dinner, but before that I stopped by his parents' house to apologize to him, and his dad and his younger sister for everything because I felt so embarrassed and horrible. I apologized profusely to his dad, who did nothing but laugh. His dad was beyond understanding and actually spoke Korean quite well himself. He actually laughed, saying that he understands why my parents were the way they are. He even told me about the story of when he first met Jimmy's mom's parents in Korea and how much she warned him about their behavior. He said that she explained it to him and he understood and was able to respect where their concerns were coming from in terms of wanting to preserve their language and all heritage. He told me it started off rocky, but they shut up so fast when he surprised them and spoke it fluently. He said his relationship with their parents now stronger than ever, especially since she passed away, and he calls them twice a week just to chat. He said that when he heard that I stuck up for Jimmy, he was proud of me even though he never said anything. Jimmy's sister, she's only 12 but is super sweet and mature for her age. She said that when Jimmy started dating me was the day he started teaching and talking to her in Korean again. It was really precious the way she described it. His dad teaches and talks her as well, but she really likes when Jimmy does it. As for Jimmy and I, we have been working together to resolve our communication issues, and we've spent a lot of time talking all about us. I admitted all my concerns and he addressed them one by one and told me exactly what I needed to hear. He apologized for keeping it from me for so long and told me that he didn't do it maliciously. He just didn't want to associate Korean with the negativity that my parents and friends brought, which I find is extremely understandable. He said he regarded the language as something pure that him and his mother often shared together, that he didn't want to engage in with my parents and friends. He admitted that it probably sounded silly, but I understood him on an emotional level. He told me about how close him and his mom were. We had never talked this in-depth about it before, and I cried like a little baby because I could tell how much he loved and missed her. He told me that she always teased and warned him about the complications of marrying a full-blood Korean while he was a teenager, and he didn't truly understand until he met my parents and friends. I even found out that Jimmy was born and lived in Korea for 12 years. I feel like our relationship is stronger as ever, my doubts and worries are gone, and we're going to be a lot more open with one another. I'm ashamed I ever tried to doubt him. He has been speaking Korean to me a lot more exclusively since I've apologized to him. Most probably won't understand, but he took me to see his mother's grave, and it was probably one of the most touching moments I've ever had with him. I'm kneeling beside him listening as he told her about me, basically how he knew he had found the person he would make new memories with and how he would have to go back on a promise. I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life. I couldn't even stop. We had dinner with my parents on Tuesday and Jimmy spoke to them in Korean for the first time and my parents apologized for their tongue. I think I didn't make it as clear as I should in my original post, but after I defended him they cut back significantly. Jimmy apologized for their years of disappointment, teasing them for their original concerns. He told them a little about his mom, and when he told them his mother's maiden name, my father's eyes lit up. He didn't really go into detail, but he thinks he might have known of her family. It made him extremely chatty and open. I've never seen my father so excited to talk to someone before in my life. Jimmy also brought up that his family are planning a trip to Korea this summer and he offered to pay for all of us to come with them. My parents haven't been back in years and they happily accepted his offer. Jimmy is wonderful, really. I'm lucky to have him and I'll never let him go. Thanks for the advice. Edit to add, Jimmy's apology to my parents for years of disappointment was in a joking manner, not something sincere. It was meant as a joke and everyone laughed about it, sort of like breaking ice or easing the tension in the room.